Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa nafsin wa ma sawaha fa alhamaha fujuraha wa taqwaha. قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. Dear audience, today the topic which I am going to share with you on is the Tazkiyatu Nafs. This one. Okay. Still not okay? So today, inshallah, we are going to, I'm going to share with you regarding the Tazkiyatu Nafs. Actually, the Tazkiyatu Nafs is a very important issue because it is dealing with our soul. As we all know, the soul is the very essential, very crucial element of our existence. So it is with the soul that all our action, our deed will be determined. So the soul is the main determining factor of all our activity. If our soul is in a good condition, in a good status or state, so from it will emerge some good quality, good characteristics. So those good characteristics will be the source of reward for us. So this will enable us to do the good deeds and also to follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be His obedient servant. So therefore it is important for us to know the soul. In Bahasa Malayo, in Malay language, we have a proverb. I'm not sure whether it's a proverb or a statement. They say, "Taknal makata cinta." So that's why if we don't know something, we won't love it. So once we know something, then we start loving it. So that's why I have to talk about the soul. What is it? What are its constituent elements? What are its flavor? What are its form? How many types of it we have? Because the soul has various aspects. It has a physical aspect as well as a spiritual aspect. So Imam Al-Ghazali has talked about the soul in various terms. Sometimes he talk about the soul in terms of, he used the word al-qalb. Sometimes he talk about it using the terms ar-ruh. And some other time he used the word al-nafs. And some other time he used the term aql for it. So considering the various aspects of it, the manifestation of the, what you call it, the characteristic from it. So in this line he has talk about it in a very detailed manner. Okay? So the ayah which I mentioned just now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the Surah Al-Shams, you know, in Surah Al-Shams Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned prior to the verse, wa nafsim wa ma sawa, there are a few more verses. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about the natural phenomena, so many natural phenomena. He talk about the Shams, the sun, talk about the moon, talk about the days and night, and also about other things, the natural phenomena. So the purpose is to attract the attention of the audience to the significance and the importance of the issue which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, and that is the issue of the nafs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that, I swear by the nafs, wa nafsin wa masawa, and what it has been formed. I mean, talk about the physical nafs, and what are its constituent, fa'alhamaha fujuraha wa taqwaha, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired to it his ability of doing good deed and his ability of bad deed. I mean, he is inspired to the soul the potential of doing good deed as well as the potential of doing bad deeds. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about the consequences of those potential. Then He said that فَقَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, those who will be successful, this will be triumphant, those who purifies it. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, those who buried it or failed it, they will be destroyed, they will be unsuccessful, they will face failure in this world as well as in the hereafter. So now coming to the constituent element of the soul, what is it, how it functions. So as I mentioned to you, Imam Al-Ghazali has talked about it in 4 terms. So we start with the Al-Qalb. Qalb, we know that this is a heart, right? Hati. So physically, he defined the Qalb as a lahm, a sanubari, or a piece of flesh situated in the left side of a human being, our body, this side, right, to the left. So it is, it is called sunubari. Sunubari is referring to the sunubar tree. It is a kind of tree which bear fruits, and the shape of the fruit resembles to the, what you call, to the heart. Like pineapple. Pineapple? Pineapple we consume, the sweet one. It's very delicious, right? You like it, brother Shahril? So because the shape of it resembles the heart, that's why I call it sanubari is the relative noun. It means this is the flesh, the piece of flesh which is, what you call it, shaped in that form. The shape resembles to the pine. This pineapple, the sanubari is the tree. It also bear fruit, and the shell of the fruit shape is like pineapple. So those kind of trees cannot grow in tropical area. In Malaysia we don't have it, but those type of tree we could have it in like in Afghanistan, my country, Pakistan. I mean those countries which has a 4 seasons, in Syria and some other. The fruit, the dry fruit, they will take that, that the curl of it, when they break the shell, so from there they will be in the form of how to say it, it's long one, it's like capsule, the form is like capsule. The curl is white, but it is very expensive. The price is skyrocketing, I have never come across it in Malaysia because it is not available here. So if they want to have that free, so they have to import, and the price is very expensive. So what I'm trying to say, the shape is similar, that's why it's sanubari, yeah? Okay? This is the definition of the soul in physical sense. I mean, it is like, let's say if I'm able to take out my heart to show it to you, it's not possible, otherwise you will be charged for matter. I myself, I mean, what I'm saying, it is like that, in that form, okay? And spiritually, I mean it as something immaterial. It is defined by Imam Al-Ghazali as Latifa Rabbaniya, spiritual subtlety, which is the center of human spirituality, by which a human being is differentiated from other living being. So that soul make human different from other living being. Other living beings also have life, but their life, the substance related to their life is different from the spirit which we have. So it is by virtue of this spirit that we are different from other living being, okay? So it is a kind of creature, but it is immortal. I mean, it is not going to die, not going to finish, because the spirit. This is the spirit which is inspired to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created human being, from clay, then He inspired from His soul to it so that he become alive, and after that He asked the angels to prostrate to it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also taught Adam alayhi salam the name of everything, and then after that He asked the malaik to tell them about those things, the name of those things. They didn't know that. And then after Adam alayhi salam was taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so he could tell the name of those things. Because of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show them that human being could be superior than them as well, because they were under the presumption that they know everything. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to create the human being, and then they made the, they said that, are you going to create somebody who is going to shed blood? So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show to them that human being have other quality as well, so that it will not be only, it is not that, I mean, he will be shedding blood, but there are some other benefit in it as well. So that's why they were asked to prostrate to him as a sign of respect, not a sign of ibadah, because ibadah is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a sign of ibadah. It's a part of our prayer, and it is a rukn of prayer. Without the prostration, the salat will not be valid. So with regard to this case, I mean, Adam the angel, all of them, they prostrated to Adam alayhi salam as a sign of respect. And furthermore, it was the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So that's why we say it is a immortal creature, which is not measured in space and time. I mean, it doesn't have a physical existence. Because if something has a physical existence, so it will occupy a place. It will be there for some time. So there's time factor and also the space factor is involved. But with regard to the spirit, it does not involve the space factor. I mean, it is something subtle, okay? Then the qalb has been divided by Imam Al-Ghazali into 3 types. So it is mentioned in the Quran, also in the Hadith, that we have qalbun salim. So what he means by qalbun salim, so it is the type or state of a heart which is clean from any passion that challenges what God command or dispute what God forbid. So I mean, he's what do you call it? Challenging. I mean, he's not obedient. He's trying to go against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's trying to commit something which is forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is a, what do you call it, rebelling against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is, sorry, it is not rebelling. So this is because we are talking about the qalbun salim, which is obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is trying to control the passion which is not against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not against disobedience. But in contrary to the qalbun salim, there is the qalbun mayit and also the qalbun mariz. They are disobeying the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Heart which obey the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which does not go against his command. It is also mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, whereby it is stated that la yu'minu ahadukum hatta yakuna hawahu tabi'an lima ji'tu bihi. So no one of you will be a complete believer unless his desires, hawa, whim, and wish follow what I have come with. It means he fully obey and observe the rule and regulation which is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he doesn't have any sense of going against the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that will be the status of the qalb, which is qalbun salim. So his passion is controlled, his desire is controlled, and become compliant with the law and command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second one is qalbul mariz, which is not in a stable situation. Sometimes it follow to some extent, sometimes it goes against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it depends on the status of his soul, whether the faculty of desire and the faculty of passion is overwhelming it or dominating it, or it is the faculty of reason and adl that's dominate. If he follow the faculty of the reason and justice, so he will be able to control it. But if he is not, then he will be suffering from this instability. He will be mariz. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this kind of human being is weak. Therefore, he is committing some sin. So when he is committing some sin, so his qalb will be in this state of, in this kind of state. You know, one of the sickness of the qalb is the envy, hasad, right? So there is a hadith which states that al-hasadu kasuda il-hadid la yaktrukuhu hatta ya'kuluhu. Let's say if you are affected, our soul is affected with this soul, if we are not able to treat it, so by the end of the day, gradually it will eat up the whole of it. It will finish it up. So that's why we have to treat. So there are so many ways, there are ways whereby we can treat our qalb, we can reform our qalb, we can repent, we can do good deed in order to remedy our bad deeds. We have to do istighfar. So there are so many things to be done in order to clarify, in order to purify or eliminate the sickness from our heart. And the last one is the qalbul mayt. So this is the heart which does not want to know its Lord or observe his Lord and worship other than him. It follows his lowest self to fulfill worldly desire. He is overwhelmed by the faculty of desire and the faculty of passion. So he just follow that, you know. You know, I used to tell my student, I mean, I'm not sure there are any of you which are my student, I'm not sure. You know, I tell them, you know, now we have in the contemporary situation, we have a new mazhab. You know what is that? You know, as a follower of mazhab, we are officially allowed to follow, I mean, there are four school of thought, which belong to the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We have Shafi'i mazhab, we have Hanbali, Maliki and Hanafi. So the other mazhab which nowadays, this is a metaphorical type of mazhab, which this is my example, my understanding, my perception, my, what they call it, conclusion from the current situation. I call it the mazhab sukahati, you know. Because mazhab sukahati is, you know, the trend among the youngsters nowadays. If you are going to tell them something of they are doing something wrong, you are trying to remind them that this is not good, they will not accept it. What they will say? Sukahati ku ataupun sukahati I. Or maybe in English they will say, don't lecture me. See, this is not, as a Muslim we should not, because there's a hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, whereby he stated that Al-Muslimu mir'atul muslimi. The Muslim is the mirror for his Muslim brother, or Muslima for Muslima sister. You know, every morning when you wake up from your sleep, you to go to your bus room and take your bus. After that you come, the first thing you want to see is what? You spend some time looking at the mirror because you want to make sure that everything is in order. Because if you don't look at the mirror, you won't be able to see yourself, what is going on, what is there. Is anything wrong? So that's why we have to look at the mirror, because the mirror will be able to reflect what is there on your face. So you see, it shows you if there is any fault, anything which is not good or which is unpleasant to be removed. See, so the same is the status of Muslim toward others. You know, if he tells you something, he is not going to accuse something in front of you, right? He tells you the thing which is the reality. So his aim or her aim might be to remind you of what are you doing is wrong. So that's why you have to accept it. So that's beneficial, because sometimes as a human being, we can't see our own faults. We are so much immersed in other things, and there are some things which is wrong. It become our habit. We don't realize that it is wrong, but they might see those things, so that's why they are reminding us, so we have to follow that one. Okay, so therefore, with regard to the qalbun mayyit, we say it is the type of heart which is already going against the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is not willing to observe God's commands, and he follow his desire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, أَفَرَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ هَوَاهُ إِلَهُ وَأَدَلَّهُ اللَّهُ على علم وختم على سمعه وقلبه وجعل على قلبه غشاوة فما يهديه من بعد الله أفلا تذكرون, which means, do you see the one who has taken his wish, his desire as his God? So I mean, this is this Quranic verse mention about those who, I mean, having the dead heart, and they do not care, they don't care about the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they just follow, they are riding the what they call the horse of desire. So they don't care about other things, whether it is permissible or not, so they just follow their desire, that's it. They don't follow the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why they are in the state of this. MashaAllah, the time is running. Okay, so this is done. So the next term which Imam Ghazali talk about with regard to the Tazkiyatu Nafs is the ruh. So this ruh also has two meanings. One is physical meaning, the other one is spiritual meaning. With regard to its physical meaning, he said that ruh is a physical material thing in the heart that vibrates the whole body. So it resembles as the electricity, the current of the electricity, you know. When there's current, so thing will be functioning, you know. If there's no characteristic, the currency, so there won't be any movement in the machine or anything, okay. So this can also be described as the light. See, when there is light, so the whole room will be brightened, will be bright, right? So the same is the status of ruh in our body. So from there, the light will spread to all parts of our body. Okay, then in this sense, I mean the physical sense, the ruh is also understood to, you know, in the what they call medical science. They have the what they call it, the red infra technology, through which they could see the red heat of the body. So they say this is the red heat of the body. For example, you know, if you go to the hospital, you see people are hospitalized, they are lying on the bed and they are fixed to the machine, and then you can see the movement, the graphs showing the, so they say this ruh is like that, you know, which could be observed. So the moment, I mean, they say through the medical technology, that's through the infrared, so it is in the form of red heat, which is in the body, you know. The moment a person breathes his last or pass away, so it won't be anymore there. So the same is the case with regard to the patient. If once this movement is, I mean, the graph is disappear, it means the person is gone. So that is the ruh in physical term, okay. So also the other meaning of the ruh is the immaterial thing which emanates from creative command, according to Al-Ghazali. So a ruh inherently has all the knowledge and perceive everything, for it's directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is in this sense that the meaning of ruh, that man is being alive and all his organ and soul is functioning. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he created the human being, Then he says that فَإِذَا سَوَيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِ فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. So this is that type of spirit, reference to this type of meaning, because this is the immaterial things which emanate from the command, the creative command, from the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, then the third term which Imam al-Ghazali talk about is the nafs. Nafs also has two meanings. So the first meaning of the nafs is a material entity which is commonly referred to as ego, or the lowest self, in which all the animal faculty are opposing the rational faculties. I mean, these animal faculties are located there, and they are opposing the rational faculties. So it is the source of the power of anger, and also the power of desire, and this blind the intellect and encourage him to disobey the Lord. And also Sufi call this type of nafs as the blameworthy quality or the evil attribute of the nafs, and they insist on fighting it and bringing them under the control of the reason and the divine guidance. And the second meaning of the nafs is it is the real nature and essence of human being, which is capable of being pulled up toward the heavenly world, as it is mentioned in the Quranic verse in Surah Al-Infitar. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الأبرار لفي نعيم. So this those people with good soul, they are the one, the righteous people, and they will be placed in the blessing in the paradise. But despite to this, those who are nafs are inclined toward the earthly life, so they will be وَإِنَّ الْفُجَارَ لَفِي جَحِيمٍ. So those who are evil doer or disbelievers, so they will be inclined toward the earthly life, and in the hereafter they will be thrown to the fire. So Imam al-Ghazali also classify nafs into three categories. We have nafs al-mutma'inna. This is the nafs which is with peace, in peace with himself. So this is the nafs which is in full obedience with the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which follow the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it become its habit. Okay, so which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refer to this type of nafs, Ya ayyatuha nafsul mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiya. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hereafter will be calling this nafs to irji'i ila rabbiki, refer to your God, go to your Lord, radiyatan mardiya, satisfied and satisfying. Wadkhuli jannati, wadkhuli ibadi, wadkhuli jannati, enter my paradise and my good servant. So he will be placed in Jannah. And the second type of nafs is nafsul lawama. This is the nafs which blame itself because of the weaknesses, which because of following the what you call it, because of following the demand, the urge of the nafsul ammara bisu, because of accompanying the quality of nafsul ammara bisu, because of being influenced by that, so he will be influenced by that. So that's why it is called blaming soul, because he will criticize and blame himself for following the bad characteristic of the nafsul amara bisu. So the last one is the nafsul amara bisu, and this is the state of the nafs which indicate the lowest state of the nafs. It drives the person to brutality and also perverted sex and other uncontrolled desire. and do not submit to God because it is a member of the Satan, because it follows the shaitan. So the quality or the symptom of a person having this sickness are being overwhelmed by this, what do you call it, nafs amara bisu is, for example, the quality of meanness, greed, worldliness, illusion, indecency, arrogance, pride, conceit, envy, jealousy. So these are the symptoms of this nafs, an-nafs al-amara bisu. If we observe these type of characteristic, and also we have to be aware, we have to rectify the situation. So we have to reform ourselves. We have to get rid of this type of quality, because these quality are the very determining factor in our life. If you are influenced by this quality, so it will lead us to the what do you call it, to being deviated from the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the right path, and will go to the hellfire. Na'udhu billahi min zalika. And the last one, as I mentioned, Ghazali talk about the soul in terms of al-aql. So aql also has two different meaning. So the first meaning is the knowledge concerning everything about the universe, and this reside in the qalb, in the ruh. And the second one is the knowledge which has the potential of gaining knowledge. I mean, they call it al-mudrik lil-ulum. So it is by virtue of this aql that we are able to differentiate between what is good and what is bad, what is true and what is false. So I think this much should be enough as far as the Tazkiyatu nafs is concerned. After talking about the constituent faculty of the nafs and their various aspects, physical as well as spiritual aspect. So when we talk about the Tazkiyatu nafs, we mean by it two things. One thing is called elimination or eradication of the bad characteristic from the soul. And the other thing is the, what do you call it, not to say cultivate, inculcating the good quality in the soul. And of course, the third one is the knowledge. So we should have the knowledge of how to purify our nafs. What are the good quality which has to be observed? What are the bad quality which has to be eliminated? So once we have known this one, so then we try to remove the blameworthy quality from ourselves, and what do you call it, instill in ourselves the good quality. By doing so, we will be able to purify our nafs and obtain salvation in this world as well as in the hereafter. So I think this much should be enough. The time is running. Thank you very much for your patience and presence. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome to the end of our session for today. Thank you very much for your participation.